This is the absolute pinnacle of what an e-ink tablet should be. You're going to notice the impact in life when you switch over to reading full-sized academic PDFs on this, the Boox Tab X. When you start annotating them on them directly with this wonderful Wacom EMR stylus, it's going to change your professional life. The only question about this tablet is what else Boox have brought out and what they're likely to bring out in the near future. The only question is it as good as the Tab Ultra C, which is something else entirely. But this is the best of what e-ink tablets are, but e-ink tablets are about to be transformed into something new. E-ink tablets are becoming better than an iPad for your productivity needs. The question is this tablet the best of the old style e-ink tablets? And should you therefore buy this one because that's an excellent category of device? Or should you actually be looking now to buy the Ultra C? Will you buy this one or buy the Ultra C, and then in a few short months they're going to replace this with a Tab X Ultra C with a colour ink screen at this size and that keyboard case that the Tab Ultra has? Then all of a sudden you have everything. And I can understand that's like thinking, well, I bought this thing and then it's just been replaced very quickly. But right now Boox are innovating, and that's exciting, seeing them develop this category of devices very quickly. So will that device, when it's this size, a Tab X Ultra, so it's got the keyboard case, C, so it's got the color, will that actually be the iPad killer? That device could just be wow. And now that color ink is so much more usable, will Apple themselves enter the game and actually blow this category of device out of the water with their incredible software? If they can make iOS and iOS apps running just as well on e-ink screens, perhaps a smaller innovative company like Boox might find that a little bit difficult. But right now, the Boox Tab X solves so many problems for professionals, and it does it incredibly well. Let's look into how I've scored the Tab X on my comparison tables and chat about the standout uses and any surprises. The best place that you can go and actually make direct comparisons between e-ink tablets is the website eWritable.com. And you can pull up my comparison data based on my professional use, or you can make comparisons of the technical specifications of these devices. So reading, this is an incredible device if you want to digitally read full-size academic documents. It's an 8 for reading and learning, just as the Max Lumi 2 was. I like on this large size that you can actually have a split view book notebook. Now this is a dedicated book notebook for me to make my notes about this one in a separate notebook here. But also, of course, any annotations that I make on here, I can directly export as well. This is a great device for innovation and creation, equal with the Tab Ultra C, and just one behind the iPad. For black and white drawing, it's incredible. The iPad admittedly has the power to run so many full multimedia apps. But drawing on here in black and white is absolutely fabulous. And you do now get the pencil tool with tilt as well. And different shades of grey. For black and white drawing, I would prefer to draw on this rather than the iPad, but of course the iPad has the edge when it comes to colour. So it is probably just below the Tab Ultra C when it comes to looking across all different use cases, but it's an incredible device, and if you know you want full-size documents, this is the one to go for. For work, it's incredible. It's a 9, but it's difficult to recommend it over the Tab Ultra C without a keyboard case. So you can, and you should in my opinion, set yourself up a little dock on your desk with a keyboard permanently plugged in. And then you've got a great place on your desk where you can sit and type and use the wonderful word processor they've added, or you can use the word processor of choice. And you can still use the Boox voice recognition or the handwriting recognition too. And one other thing, you could use this with Space Desk, and it would actually just become a monitor from your main computer. This is something that I'm using quite a lot these days. And you can see now it's just another monitor for my computer, and even touch works as well. Of course, you can get around it with the mouse or the keyboard. So what I do love about Boox devices, it just gives you all of the options you could want. It gives you the flexibility to use it for work in a way that suits you. And that's why it is just really close behind the Boox Tab Ultra C in terms of the use cases. The software and the hardware and the company experience is very close to the Tab Ultra C as well. Tab Ultra C is still winning out that, because having that keyboard case just gives it a slightly better use with other apps. Presenting is another standout feature of the Tab X, because you could have PowerPoint open in split screen with your notes. And the PowerPoint app itself gives you the option of presenter view. So you can actually see your notes that you've typed into PowerPoint itself. And then you can annotate with the pen on the screen at the top. Or you could just use Space Desk and have it mirror the main presentation screen. And you can annotate on top of that therefore, or just swipe to move forward or backward on the PowerPoints. So for presenting, you can see I've given it an 8. In terms of the apps that come on it, the Boox Notes app is pretty fully featured, if it's a little bit complex at times and sometimes unintuitive. But it is great to have that full size for your notebooks. So it's a 7 for that. The reading app is one of the best in its class. It's a 9 there, and I've got loads of content talking about how good that is with things like article mode or the side-by-side view with the notebook. Although you really won't need article mode unless you want to read in the split screen, which, well, maybe you do. Using other apps is the best thing about the Boox Tab series, because they are the best platform for handling the conversion of essentially an app which is designed for LCD or OLED and converting it onto an e-ink screen. It gives you the option with the different screen modes so that you can customize the experience to the way that works best in each app for you. So it's an 8 for other apps, just lagging behind the Tab Ultra C, because having that color and having that keyboard does make using third-party apps even better. Mainly, the Tab X answers the problem of working all day on LCD or OLED screens. If you want to work without so much paper in your life and having to move between digital and analog, then this is the ideal digital analog device. This is Eink at its very best. With a rapid refreshing screen, you're getting the benefits of a digital space, but you're doing it on a paper-like screen. And that, for me, that's where we're aiming with this category of tech, is actually bridging that gap between digital and analog. Not with a workaround, but with an ideal mix of the two. It has a rapid refreshing screen that looks crisp and clear. This is a space to use all of your apps, to work on your files and to manage your email, to do your professional learning, to collaborate and to just take notes and move them directly and integrate them directly into any and all of your workflows. Anything that's supported by Android tablets. What Boox have done here is they've created a place for you to work which is tactile like traditional paper, but integrated with all of your web-based storage and all of those excellent digital features that we've just come to know and rely on with our phones and our tablets and our computers. And it's great for drawing. It could be your digital sketchbook, and I suggest that you'll enjoy it more than you will an iPad. Sure, you'll miss the colors. Maybe that's coming in future updates. The screen real estate, though, lets you run apps simultaneously side by side. You could have your reading and your notes side by side, or you could have your reading in a dedicated notebook. Or you could be running Microsoft PowerPoint on one and presenting that to an external screen, keeping your notes visible on the other side of the screen. You can set up your own space on a desk where you can plug this into a wired or wireless keyboard, and you can type away directly into the text note or directly into Google Docs or Microsoft Word. You can have your own set of work instance apps, so essentially a second version of Outlook, a second version of Word, hooked up into your work account rather than your personal files. And then you can have your own instance for your own personal file, and you can have screen widgets. Most of all, you just got that space to work. That space to lay out your thoughts and the size that you're used to. If you're used to using this size of notebook, just don't compromise on space. Go for this. Although many people have said that it's quite heavy, and it is, but it's not heavy for its size. Picking this up next to an iPad or a similar sized laptop, you won't think that this is heavy. It's not going to be really any heavier than a paper notepad of this size. And it's only 100 grams heavier than the Tab Ultra. It's over 100 grams less than the big iPad. Pick this up next to one of the smaller Boox devices and your brain will kind of trick you into thinking that this is lighter than that because you're expecting it to be heavier. This is the A6 device, and of course it's much lighter than this A4 device. But in terms of heaviness for size, this is lighter than this. In any case, it's probably going to live lying flat here on the desk or propped up for a better viewing angle. Still not really worked that out, but yeah, like that. I know I'm geeking out a little bit too enthusiastically maybe, but I honestly do think that this is the height of the Eink tech right now. And until they bring out an A4 color Boox device, this is the one. This, if your main purpose is academic reading or it's using apps side by side, get this device. If I've convinced you that this is the device for you, then you'll find an Amazon affiliate link in the description. But if I've convinced you that you want an ink tablet, but you want to explore more options, then click this video where I compare the best that you can buy right now. And certainly look out for the Tab Ultra C review, which is coming along very soon.